TOEFL! Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck!
Please read through the directions or skip ahead. Passage number 1. Listen to a conversation between two students on campus.
Hey Kim, have you been taking the shuttle bus recently? I've noticed that it's been running really late, especially during the mornings.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I had a class at 9 a.m. last week, and the shuttle didn't show up until 8:40. I had to rush across campus to get to class on time. It's getting really frustrating.
I know what you mean. I had a similar experience last Tuesday. I was waiting for the shuttle at 7:30 a.m., and it didn't arrive until 7:55 a.m. I ended up being late to my 8 o'clock class.
Ugh, that's the worst. I've been thinking about alternatives like biking or walking, but the campus is so big. It's hard to make it to class on time when you have back-to-back sessions across campus.
I know what you mean. I tried biking last week, but I ended up locking my bike in a spot that wasn't very safe. I'm worried about leaving it there. Plus, parking my bike is tricky. There's only one bike rack near my building, and it's always full.
That's true. The bike racks are often overcrowded. I was talking to a friend who's been taking the public bus. She says it's much more reliable, but it's not very convenient because there's no bus stop close to the dorms. The nearest stop is about a 10-minute walk.
That's another problem I've heard. The buses are generally more reliable, but if you don't live near a stop, it's just as bad as the shuttle. I wonder if the university could extend shuttle hours or add more buses during peak times.
I agree. They could also add more shuttle stops to cover the more popular dorms and buildings. Maybe some students should talk to the campus transportation office and see if they could implement changes.
That's a good idea. If enough students raise their concerns, they might be able to make some improvements. I'll look into how we can bring it up with the transportation office.
Let me know. Maybe we could get a petition going. It'd be great if they could find a solution, especially for early morning classes.
Absolutely. I'll start looking into it today. Thanks for the advice, Kim.
Anytime, Marley. Hopefully we can make a difference.
What is the main issue Marley and Kim are discussing? Why did Marley decide to try biking? Which of the following is true about the public bus, according to Kim? According to Marley and Kim, what is one potential solution to the campus transportation issues? Select 2 ways Marley and Kim think the campus transportation system could be improved. Passage number 2. Listen to part of a talk in a psychology class.
As you know, Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who proposed a model of human motivation, in which needs are arranged in a hierarchy, with the most basic needs at the bottom and more complex needs at the top. Maslow believed that humans are motivated by a series of different needs, and the fulfillment of lower-level needs must occur before higher-level needs can be addressed. At the bottom of Maslow's pyramid are physiological needs, the basic necessities for survival, such as food, water, warmth, and shelter. These are the most fundamental needs. If they aren't met, people will struggle to focus on anything else because their bodies will be preoccupied with survival. Once physiological needs are satisfied, individuals can focus on the next level, safety needs. These include the need for personal security, employment, resources, and health. This level is about stability and protection from physical and emotional harm. It's why people seek out safe living conditions and stable jobs. Next, we have social needs, which are related to relationships and belonging. After we are secure, we need to feel connected to others, whether through friendships, family, or intimate relationships. These social connections help fulfill the desire for affection, love, and acceptance. Once the social needs are satisfied, people can focus on esteem needs. This level involves feelings of accomplishment, self-respect, and recognition from others. When esteem needs are met, people feel confident and valued by their peers. They may seek out opportunities for achievement, such as excelling in their work or receiving praise for their contributions. Finally, at the top of the hierarchy is self-actualization. This is the desire for personal growth, creativity, and achieving one's full potential. Maslow argued that self-actualization is not just about achieving success in a career or personal life, but about pursuing a deeper sense of purpose, authenticity, and meaning in life. Not everyone reaches this level, as it requires a deep understanding of oneself and a commitment to continual personal development.
Professor, is it possible for someone to focus on higher-level needs, like esteem or self-actualization, even if their basic needs are not fully met?
Good question, Sally. According to Maslow, it's unlikely that someone can fully focus on higher level needs if their more basic needs are not met. However, some individuals may experience partial fulfillment of higher level needs despite a lack of fulfillment in lower levels, especially if they have unique circumstances or strong motivation to reach higher goals. But in general, the lower levels need to be met first for overall psychological well-being. So, to summarize, Maslow's hierarchy suggests that motivation begins with fulfilling physiological needs and progresses through safety, social, esteem, and finally, self-actualization. This model helps explain why people focus on different types of goals at different stages of life and under different conditions.
What is the main topic of the lecture? According to the professor, which of the following is true about the physiological needs? What is the primary focus of the esteem level in Maslow's hierarchy? According to the professor, what is the most likely reason people struggle to achieve self-actualization? Select 3 factors that Maslow identified as essential in human motivation. Passage number 3. Listen to part of a lecture in a global studies class.
As we explore cultural adaptation in immigrant communities, it's important to understand that the process is often complex and involves a variety of social, psychological, and economic factors. One major factor is language acquisition. Immigrants face the challenge of learning a new language, which is not only essential for communication but also for gaining access to social and economic opportunities in their new home. However, the process is not always linear. Some immigrants may struggle with language barriers for years, while others may pick it up relatively quickly. The second significant aspect of cultural adaptation is social integration. Immigrants often experience a sense of double consciousness as they try to maintain their cultural heritage while also adopting the norms and values of their new society. This can create a sense of alienation, especially if their culture is viewed negatively or if they face discrimination. This tension can lead to emotional and psychological stress, which can impact overall well-being. Additionally, economic adaptation plays a crucial role. Immigrants often enter the workforce in lower-paying jobs and may have difficulty gaining recognition for their previous qualifications and experience. As a result, many may need to start over in their careers or adjust to different workplace expectations, which can contribute to financial stress. Over time, however, successful economic adaptation can lead to upward mobility and improved social standing. Finally, the role of community support cannot be underestimated. Support networks such as immigrant communities or social organizations play a significant role in easing the transition for newcomers. These communities provide a sense of belonging and safety, helping immigrants navigate the challenges of adapting to a new society. Over time, these social networks often expand, helping immigrants to integrate more effectively into the broader society.
What is one of the challenges immigrants face when adapting to a new culture? According to the lecture, what does double consciousness refer to? Why is economic adaptation important for immigrants? According to the lecture, which two factors contribute to immigrants' psychological stress? What role do immigrant communities play in cultural adaptation? What can successful economic adaptation lead to? Passage number 4. Listen to a conversation between two students on campus.
Hey, Vanessa, I've been meaning to talk to you about something that's been bothering me. My roommate Max has been really difficult to live with lately.
Oh no, what's going on?
Well, it's just little things that add up. He leaves his dishes all over the place, even though I've asked him several times to clean up after himself. And he never takes out the trash. It's always left for me to do. It's really frustrating because we agreed to share responsibilities when we moved in together.
Oh, that sounds awful. I can totally understand why you're upset. Have you talked to him about it? I know sometimes people don't realize how their habits are affecting others.
Yeah, I've brought it up a couple of times, but it doesn't seem like he takes me seriously. He always just says, I'll do it later, and then nothing ever gets done. I don't want to be the one doing all the work, but I also don't want to start a huge argument over it.
That's tough. Maybe you could try having a more direct conversation with him, maybe at a time when you're both not frustrated. Sometimes people need a little more structure. Have you considered making a list of chores and assigning them to each other?
That might be a good idea. I just don't want him to feel like I'm nagging him. But if we both have specific things to do, maybe he'll take it more seriously.
I think that's a smart approach. Sometimes people need a clear system. And don't feel bad about setting boundaries. It's important for both of you to share the responsibilities, not just you.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I've been trying to avoid conflict, but it's not working. I'll try talking to him again and maybe set some clearer expectations. Thanks for the advice, Vanessa.
Anytime, Charlie. I'm sure it'll get better once you communicate more clearly with him.
What is the main issue that Charlie is discussing with Vanessa? What does Charlie imply when he says this?
I don't want to be the one doing all the work, but I also don't want to start a huge argument over it.
What suggestion does Vanessa make to help Charlie with the roommate issue? How does Charlie feel about talking to Max again? Select 2 possible reasons why Charlie's approach to handling the roommate issue might not be effective. What does Vanessa imply when she says this?
It's important for both of you to share the responsibilities, not just you.
Passage number 5. Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor.
Professor, I wanted to talk to you about how to best prepare for the upcoming exam and quizzes. I'm a little unsure about how to prioritize my studying. Can you offer any advice?
Of course, I'd be happy to help. The first thing to remember is that studying regularly over time is much more effective than cramming at the last minute. Start reviewing your notes and assignments at least a week before the quiz or exam. Make sure to focus on the areas where you feel the weakest, but don't ignore the material you're more comfortable with.
That sounds like a good plan. I usually focus a lot on the parts I find hardest, but I tend to skip over the topics I already understand. Maybe I should balance it out more.
Exactly. Sometimes students focus so much on the challenging material that they forget to review what they already know. However, the key is not just rereading the material, but testing yourself on it. Use practice quizzes or ask someone to quiz you. Active recall is much more effective than passively reading your notes.
Got it. I'll make sure to do that. I've also been wondering whether it's better to study alone or with a group. I know both approaches have their pros and cons.
Studying in a group can be helpful if you're able to stay focused. It allows you to discuss difficult concepts, quiz each other, and help one another with things you might not understand. But if you find that group study leads to distractions, it's better to stick to studying alone. The goal is to make the most of your time.
That makes sense. I guess I'll have to figure out what works best for me. And should I focus on reviewing class materials more than doing outside readings?
It depends, but for the most part, class materials should take priority, especially since they are directly related to the quizzes and exams. Outside readings can be helpful for a deeper understanding, but if time is limited, focus on what's been emphasized in class. And don't forget to manage your time wisely. Give yourself breaks during study sessions so you don't burn out.
Thanks so much, Professor. This really helps me organize my study plan. I'll make sure to stay on track and focus on what's most important.
What is the conversation mainly about? What does the professor mean when he says this?
Active recall is much more effective than passively reading your notes.
How does the professor feel about group study? What does the student agree with in the conversation? What does the professor mean when he says this?
The goal is to make the most of your time.
Select 2 strategies the professor suggests to help with studying for exams.
This is your answer key for passages 1 through 5. Remember to focus on the main ideas and tone of the lecture. Understanding the speaker's perspective will help you choose the right answers. Take notes on key details and listen for any changes in topic. These cues will guide you through each question and improve your overall score. And don't forget to level up!